This is going to be a quick video for demon players going over the different factions and of going over how to progress your skills and level up in the middle of a match. Just a basic guide to teach new players to Evil Dead the game how to play the demon player role. So let's get into it. We're going to look at the Warlord first. I consider the Warlord to be the most balanced of all of the demon factions, the most average, kind of like, you know, your standard. You know, you're not really too bad at anything, not really too great at anything, or at least doesn't excel in one area. So let's start with the basic unit first. This is just the Deadite. It has a puke attack, which can damage survivors. It's a projectile. You can upgrade this to do different things in the skill tree, but it's just a long-range puke attack. And then you can rip off your arm and use it as a melee weapon to increase your damage. So they can rip off one of their arms and use it as a weapon, so their melee hits do more. And they also have a dodge attack. 2 defense, 2 damage, 3 speed, 3 ability. Pretty basic. Like I said, 2/2 is pretty average. Good speed, good ability. We go to the Elite. The Elite can charge forward and smash the ground, damaging in a shockwave, which is pretty useful. And they can do a big swing that does like a sweep attack. You know, it's a big cone in front of you that can hit multiple targets. They are very slow with only 1 speed, 3 ability, 4 damage, and 4 defense. They are quite tanky and hit quite hard with the 4/4 there. We get to the Warlord boss, Henrietta. She has a belly flop, which is a AoE attack that hits the ground and knocks anybody around. Leaves toxic fumes behind her with the gas leak. Basically, you move around and survivors in the toxic take damage over time. You can modify this, customize all this with the skills, and then she does the granny hug and just holds a survivor and damages them. Her moves they're all right. I would say gas leak's really good. This granny hug's okay, belly flop's okay. She's average. She's average overall. Most bosses 5/5. Well, I think no, 5/5 is actually pretty good because I think other bosses are like 4/4. Lowest speed, 3 ability. She's overall good. She's tanky and hits hard, like you would expect from a boss unit. Let's move on to the Puppeteer now. Puppeteer is one of probably the strongest right now for all the demon factions. I could see Eligos here getting nerfed, which is the boss unit. Let's go to the basic unit first, Deadite Berserker. As you can see, compared to Warlord, 1 defense, 1 damage, the lowest in the game, but the fastest. 5 speed, 3 ability. They self-destruct when they die, or if you just proc it, you can make it go off whenever. They head rush. They throw their own head at survivors, causing an explosion. I believe this kills them as well. I'm not sure. I think it does. I don't know if their head grows back. And then they got a dodge, just like every other basic unit. So yeah, pretty much these guys are just about blowing themselves up. They're just about running up there doing AoE damage. You can attack with them and stuff, but they basically just have both of their abilities evolve explosions. So they're pretty cool. Then we have the Demi Eligos, which is a weaker version of the Eligos. 2/2 damage and defense, 3 speed, 5 ability. So hits just a little bit harder. Thunderstruck. They put a little marking beneath each survivor. If they don't move, they get hit by a lightning strike. And he can duplicate himself and make 2 of himself, which is pretty cool and pretty neat. That's pretty much it for his abilities. So basically, you're going to drop a Thunder Strike, and then you're just going to go in and melee, and we'll split yourself too. Not bad, though. He's good. He's good. Here is the bread and butter, the Eligos. Defense of 3, damage of 4. As you can see, Henrietta was 5/5. Speed of 3, ability 4. Telekinesis to immobilize nearby survivors. Launches rocks at survivors, so he does have a ranged attack. And he can also do the telekinetic squeeze. Attack cannot be dodged, and other survivors have to hit Eligos to knock him out. So he just grabs a hold of the survivor and squeezes him. So he's really good. He hits really hard. When he does move, he is invisible. He is invisible. And he cannot be knocked back, except when his balance bar is depleted, just like every other boss. So he is the OP one right now, and not to mention Puppeteer's main gimmick is possession. They do possession the best. They get the biggest buff. It's actually their ability, so you can possess twice as much. So Puppeteer is the go-to for, I guess, the most powerful. I really enjoy Necromancer, though. Last but not least, we got Necromancer. Basically, Necromancers are all about the undead. Here we go with the skeleton unit. 3 defense. They are the tanky faction. I consider them the tankiest faction of all the other demons. 3 defense, 2 damage, 3 speed, 2 ability. Can lunge. They can do a long lunging attack to hit a distant survivor. They can do a war cry. That's an AoE that knocks people away from them. And then they got the dodge. Skeleton Elite has a trident toss. He can actually throw his trident very far at a distant survivor. And he can do an AoE ground smash in front of him. He has 4 defense, 2 damage, 2 speed, and 4 ability. Very nice. And we get over to Evil Ash, the bread and butter. 4 defense, 4 damage, 2 speed, 4 ability. Can summon skeletons in the middle of the fight. He can resurrect dead skeletons, and he can zap the life of other players and heal himself. He's very good too. He's very good. He has the same problem though. If his stamina bar gets depleted, he gets stun locked, and you can just beat on him. As you can see, he's 4-4 defense damage. Henrietta was 5-5. So Henrietta, by far, does the most damage and has the highest defense according to the stats. But I feel like Evil Ash has way more utility. That's it. Those are the quick rundown of the 3 demon factions. Whichever one suits your fancy, go ahead and try them out, experiment, see what you like. I'll do another video on the skill trees and stuff that we got. I don't really want to go too much into that. But we're going to take on over to a look at the leveling process when you're playing the demon role. What to prioritize, what to do first. There's different things. I don't know if there's really necessarily a meta yet of like, you have to do this. But there are options that seem to be better than others. So let's go over and take a look at that real quick, and that should wrap up the video. Now let's take a look at what to level up as you're playing the demon player. So as you know, picking up these red orbs gives you the red energy at the bottom of the screen. I do recommend playing the tutorial so you get a basic idea how to play. Let's take a look here. So we have Infernal Energy, Possession, Portal Basic, Portal Elite, Boss, Demon Vision, and Traps. Now, I really like Infernal Energy. The first 3 levels, give you more maximum energy. First 2. And then level 3, 4, and 5 give you passive regen, as you can see there, per second. So getting Infernal Energy maxed out is a priority, but don't just invest all your points into it. Probably get it to like 2 or 3 and then invest into some other categories. Or, you know, you can ignore it in the beginning because you're not really going to be doing a lot to begin with. Another thing I sometimes prioritize early on is traps. Traps are really great. The higher it goes, the more fear it generates. But what makes traps amazing is level 3, you spawn an elite unit on traps. So traps are those little things that you walk up to and set a trap for the survivors, and a unit spawns out of it and hits them. It'll normally be a basic unit, but at level 3 it'll be an elite. So you basically get an elite unit for 25 orb energy, when normally an elite portal is 150, and it only summons 1. An elite portal only summons 1 as well. So a trap for 25 for an elite unit, or a portal for 150. Now, granted, they have to trigger the portal for it to work, but I'm a big believer in the trap. I've actually leveled trap up to 3 before anything else, and I've had good success with it. But like I said, there's no necessarily meta or like guaranteed, other than Infernal Energy being very priority heavy. Then I would say get your portal basic at level 3 or 4, so you can at least summon some basic minions in. Each time you play a portal down, it does do 2 minions. Every level up reduces reduction, cooldown, and gives bonus health to the unit and damage. So, and as you can see at level 5, it summons an additional unit. So, very good to prioritize, very good to do. Now we get up to Possession. Possession is very powerful, like I said, on the Puppeteer, because that is the Puppeteer's main buff. They get even better bonuses from Possession. Basically, when you possess a unit, they get extra health and damage, and that goes up higher. And if you get to level 5, the upkeep, whenever you possess something, your bar drains. So if you possess something of low bar energy on the bottom there, the red bar, if you only have 10, you're only going to hold that unit for like a couple seconds and it's going to just die. When you lose possession of a unit, the unit dies. It doesn't resume control of an AI, so be very careful with that. I recommend Possession, depending on your play style. It is very useful if that's what you like to do. Elite works very similar to Basic. We get the same kind of properties, except you don't get to spawn 2 elite units out of a portal. It's just the plus 25% unit health and damage. Boss makes your boss stronger, gives the portal a cooldown, and increases boss damage and health. And then at level 5, the boss is immune to being stunned. So very good, very doable. Now, what I think is the least priority heavy demon vision. I don't really see much value in this. Reduces the fear needed to detect reduces the fear needed to always detect from 10 to 30%. So basically, I guess if you're having trouble finding the survivors, if you spec in the demon vision, you'll detect them through walls and see them wherever they're at with 30% fear, and then you get the plus 40% reduced fear needed to always detect as well. So you can get up to 40%, and then extra noise detection time. So basically helps you find people if you're having trouble finding them. But like I said, you can't see across the whole map. But if their fear hits that threshold, they will be visible to you from a very long way away. I don't know the maximum range, but I guess demon vision is good for finding people if you really struggle with that, or you want to be able to locate them far away. I don't know. I feel like it's the least useful, but some people really might like it. But that's it. That's your these are your skills. I recommend Infernal Energy as the main priority. Go right to basic portal, and then you kind of build off from there. Maybe do traps, possession. You'll get a feel for it, but definitely don't neglect this, because passive orb regeneration is going to be very important, and it'll help you a lot. Oh yeah, and then Q summons your special ability, and then C is the scare. This is really important. If you do this and you hit survivors with it, you actually generate red orb energy. So it's a great way to get energy without having to pick up orbs, but it has a really long cooldown, as you can see there. A lot of people don't really value that, the scare ability, but the more people you scare at once, the more energy it produces for you. So it can really help you when you're looking for energy and not having any, and that's up off cooldown. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Thanks for checking out the video. Sorry it was a little bit longer than I expected. I wanted to make it pretty much quick and painless. But if you guys have any questions or comments, I got about 40 hours in the game now. Mainly I've played Demon, I've done a little bit Survivor. But yeah, any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. If the video helped you out, leave a like. If you want to see other stuff covered, feel free to let me know. I plan on making more videos for this game. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Later, guys.